3 months removed, it really feels like Eric DeCosta nailed the 2025 NFL Draft because so far, about a week through Ravens training camp, I got 5 rookies that I really want to talk about that have caught my eye over the last 7 days or so. It was a very full draft class, full enough that it didn't even fit in this List 10 logo you're looking at right now. Malachi Starks, Mike Green, they're the ones who, got it right off to a very good start. And then all the way down to the 4 6-round picks, or 5 6-round picks, wrapping up with Garrett Dellinger, the guard out of LSU. Of those 11 players, I'm going to highlight 5 in today's show. Make sure you are subscribed before we get into those 5 players, though, because we are battling Steelers talk all training camp long, and right now only down 7 subs. Okay, last time we checked in, we were down much more. You guys did an awesome job at trying to get me a little bit closer to Steelers Talk. We only need 8 loyal subscribers. Hit that subscribe button today to help us get on top of Steelers Talk. If you hate the Steelers, you love the Ravens, and you like free things, 3 perfect reasons to subscribe today. Let's start with the first-round pick, Malachi Starks. And look, I know that coming into this, you probably were like, Joey, let's talk about some other Ravens that aren't the first-round pick. Like, of course he's going to do good. But, guys, I can't leave Malachi Starks out of this conversation because it feels like he has maybe had the best camp of anyone. Not any rookie. You're hearing me wrong. Any player. Zach Orr spoke to the media just the other day, said he's fitting in great. Every test that we've thrown at him since the spring up to now, he's passed with flying colors. We'll start having these preseason games and regular season games, and we'll see if he passes those tests, which we expect him to do. He's a heck of a person, heck of a player. And if you're a talented player and you work hard on and off the field, the chances of you being successful are near 100%. Malachi fits that mold. And there still are a lot of things to figure out with Malachi Starks, right? You still have to see him playing in actual games, okay? I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but the early returns are exciting. Everything we've seen and heard so far through the first week of training camp, you should be excited about. You should be looking forward to seeing how he develops. And it's not just the coach who's saying that, because coaches should say that about their players. They should hype up their players, but even the teammates are talking about him. Kyle Hamilton said that Malachi Starks is miles ahead of where he was at his point in his career. When Kyle Hamilton was a rookie, he was still an absolute baller, and he thinks that Malachi Starks is way ahead of where he was. If that's the case, if that's true, sign me up for a Malachi Starks phenomenal season. Make sure, if you are a believer in Starks like I am, to like today's video. Show me that way. I am so excited to see him on the field right next to Kyle Hamilton. And if you believe in him as much as I do, you'll show me by hitting that thumbs up button down below. Next up, the second round selection, one Mike Green. I mean, I don't know if there's a player I'm more excited about to watch in the entirety of the season. Zach Orr spoke on Mike Green as well and said he just comes in and works. Smart player, works hard. We know what type of player we have, so now it's time for him just to go out here and do it in practice, which we believe he will. I said it even before I wrote that quote. Of every single guy to watch in preseason, Mike Green is the one I've got the most excitement for. From everything he was able to do at Marshall, okay, to being a second-round selection, 59th overall, after falling down the draft board a little bit because of everything that went on off the field, but everything you saw from him in college, within the white lines, within the 53 and a third, you should be so excited to watch him do what he does in the NFL. He's going to be a star. I have no doubts about it. Another guy on the defensive side of the ball, just go back one level, you get to the linebackers. Let's talk about Teddye Buchanan, okay? I'm really, really excited about Buchanan. He has the size. He's got the speed. He's got the athleticism. What I love about him is he's a different mold than Roquan Smith is, okay? If you look at Trenton Simpson, you look at Roquan Smith, they kind of play 2 similar styles of linebacker. You know, Simpson isn't as big, he's not as strong, but they're bruising run defender type linebackers. Teddye Buchanan is somebody totally different, okay? He's athletic, he's really good in pass coverage. And Roquan Smith has already really talked about how excited he is and how well he's doing. He said he's well advanced for a rookie, mentally and obviously physically. But just the way he processes things, even throughout the springtime. I know I wouldn't as a rookie. I think it's very special. I think he's going to be a really good player in this league. And that's half of the battle when you're playing the linebacker position, okay? Because you're almost like the quarterback of the defense. You have to see things and process them in real time and then communicate it to your teammates. They're all looking at you. They're all waiting to listen to you, right? And although he might not be that green dot that Roquan Smith is, he's still got a lot of responsibility for communication. And so the fact that he's not being tripped up really by anything processing-wise, which is usually the biggest hurdle the guys go through from going to college to the National Football League, at this stage is absolutely phenomenal. Who do you think starts at linebacker next to Roquan Smith out of those two guys? Because it's going to be the battle between those two. Is it Trenton Simpson or is it Teddye Buchanan? You let me know in the comment section down below. Coming up on today's show, we have two more standouts to talk about. But before that, and we got a brand new sponsor on today's show, the Ravens Rundown. Shout out to our friends over at Ethos. It is never fun to think about what would happen if something happened, but you do need to be prepared. With life insurance through Ethos, your family is protected. Life insurance is a perfect way to make sure you're covered. You can get your free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That's ethos.com/NFL Daily. Ethos is an online platform that makes getting life insurance fast and easy. To protect your family's future in minutes, not months. Life insurance is more affordable than you think. With Ethos, you can get a free quote and customize a rate that fits your budget. The process is 100% online with no medical exam required. Just answer a few health questions and get a quote in as little as 10 minutes. 3 million families have completed their applications and trusted Ethos to help find the right coverage. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get your free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That's ethos.com/NFL Daily. Now we're going to talk about a guy who you might not even know. How about undrafted free agent cornerback out of the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, Reuben Lowery III. And anytime you're a UDFA and the head coach is talking about you, you're doing things right. Reuben is all ball. John Harbaugh said he's all ball every day. All he thinks about, all he talks about, eats it, sleeps it. He comes out here and he flies around. A very, very smart player. And we've talked about Reuben before. I think we talked about him later last week because he just kept on making plays. You kept seeing him on social media. You kept hearing his name, and you kept saying, who the heck is this guy? Where did he come from? Well, he's making a name for himself. And because of that, he might be the UDFA that makes the roster. Now, I'm not saying that and saying that Baltimore has to put a UDFA on the roster. But if we've known anything about the Ravens over the last couple of years, they've been very consistent that usually at least one undrafted free agent really impresses them and makes it. And Lowery might be that guy this year. The only problem is the position that he plays, it's a really, really crowded room. Okay? It's a very, very hard room to make the roster in. Because now the new one with Jair Alexander, you've got those three guys and TJ Tampa and Chidobe Awuzie. Those guys aren't getting touched. Maybe this team takes 7, but then you got to pick 2 out of Jalen Armour-Davis, who's been here a long while, Bilal Kone and Robert Longerbeam, who are both drafted ahead of Lowery. So it's going to be an uphill battle. But if he continues to show up every single day, keep impressing John Harbaugh, keep making plays, he's going to make that decision for them a lot easier come late August. You tell me, do you think Lowery makes the final roster? 53-man. After all the preseason games are said and done right before the season, do you think he makes a cut? If he does, go ahead, give me a yes or no in the comment section down below. Last up, and I know it was only defensive, but let's be real. That's where they really spent the majority of their selections in the 2025 NFL Draft. Let's talk about FUB. That is Aeneas Peebles. So far, through the entirety of training camp, he's been generating a lot of buzz, and that's because of the consistent amount of pressure he's been able to put on the quarterbacks. And that's really what I've been looking for all offseason long out of this defensive line. It's the only thing they struggled in last year. They're great at getting sacks. They're great at getting the quarterback to the ground. But when they weren't doing that, he had all day long to throw. If Aeneas Peebles keeps on playing the way he has been, keeps on generating pressure to the quarterback, that's going to bode really, really well for this defense, okay? And I also love the way that he's been really, really intentional with coaches and with players. He's been really, really intentional at learning, at growing. You're seeing defensive line coach sit down with him and Kyle Van Noy, go over different pass rush moves. And we all know that's the best thing he does, Aeneas Peebles, is get to the passer. But he knows it's going to have to take a step up in the National Football League, and he's seeking that counsel, not just from coaches, but from the vets on this team as well. And I really believe that's going to bode well for him in the long run. That's it for today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Make sure you got me on Twitter and on Instagram at Joey Petersen on both those platforms. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel all training camp long. We're going to be right here. Daily videos. Don't miss it. Can't find it anywhere else. Join us today right here at the Ravens Rundown.